Hi, welcome to the Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this video is month 7 in my prenatal yoga series. So ideally you're doing this sequence sometime between when you're 6 to 7 months pregnant, and the sequence is designed to help both kind of open and strengthen the hips and the pelvis area in order to get your body ready for the challenge of delivering a baby and of continuing to kind of support your belly and support your back and your whole body with that kind of deeper core and pelvic strength. So to start out, we're going to come into a comfortable sitting position. Whether you're sitting, I like to be propped up a little bit on a bolster for a little bit of comfort. You can sit on the floor, you can sit in a chair, just find kind of your comfortable position. And then go ahead and close your eyes. With your eyes closed, you're going to just feel your body grow nice and tall. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. Breathing in and out through the nose. Go ahead and feel like there's that little puppeteer string lifting you a little taller through the crown of your head. Feeling your belly expand and grow even bigger with the inhales and soften back in on the exhales. And then from here, as you just find this nice relaxed breath and this nice tall posture, we're going to start to work into our Mula Bandha, or our pelvic floor. Some people call them Kegel exercises. So this one we're going to do, I call this the elevator Mula Bandha. So if you imagine like an elevator that has a ground floor, a first floor, and a top floor, and we are going to find kind of those different levels of our pelvic floor. So the ground floor is just totally relaxed. So first just kind of feeling your pelvic floor soften. And then from here, you're going to think about taking it up to that first floor. So just a little bit of lift through that Mula Bandha, a little bit of engagement, and breathing there. And then from there, now you're going to take it to the top floor. So you're going to feel that deeper lift of the pelvic floor. And then take a little breath there, feeling that deeper strength. And then from there, the elevator is going to go back down to the first floor. So half that lift, try and maintain a little bit of lift. And then relax it back down to the ground floor, totally relaxed. And we're going to take that through 2 more times. So at your own pace, hold each level, each kind of elevator floor for 1 to 3 breaths. So again, start out relaxed, just some nice soft breathing into the belly. We're on the ground floor. And then from there, go ahead, lift to the first floor and breathe there. And then from there, you're going to think lift to that the top floor. And then you're going to exhale back down to that first level. I'm doing this in European terms, the ground floor, then the first, then the second. You can also think of it as 1, 2, 3. And then relax back down, back to the ground floor, first level, whatever you want to think. Relax the pelvic floor. We'll do it 1 more time. So a couple breaths, keeping it relaxed. And then again, go up to that first level. Breathing there. Try not to let the breath lift into your shoulders. Keep it low. And then all the way up to the top floor. And then back down to the middle level. And then let it relax. And then from here, the next stretch that we're going to do is we're just going to warm up through the feet and the ankles. When we are pregnant and we are active people on our feet a lot of the day, the feet start to take a little bit more compression from the body as we get bigger. So it's nice to give them a little bit of time to just loosen up. So with just 1 foot, you can take your hands behind you, but just go ahead and kind of circle through the ankle a couple times to each direction. And then circling the other ankle. And if you're interested in working a little deeper with the feet and ankles, I've got another YouTube video on my channel all about yoga for foot and ankle well-being. You can play with that one if you're interested. And then from here, we're going to do just a little bit of a deeper stretch. So you're going to bring your right foot up and you're going to slide your fingers in the little gaps between your toes. And then from there, you're just going to do a little gentle circling of the ankle. If it's hard to reach your foot, sometimes sitting in a chair can be helpful with this one to give your body a little more support. Circling both directions and just feel that gentle spreading of your toes. If getting your fingers between your toes is challenging, you can do just a few toes at a time. That works too. And then taking the other side. Again, thread all the fingers through the toes or just a few of them at a time. And just gently circling, just kind of opening up the plantar fascia, opening up the muscles between the toes, waking up the feet to allow them to better support us. And then from here, you can go ahead and come on into child's pose. So if you're sitting on some support, you can slide it aside and come back to it. Take the knees nice and wide, sit back through your hips, and let your body rest down. You can have the arms forward, or if it's more comfortable to fold them under your head or fold them back at your sides, that works too. But wherever your arms are at, you just want to feel your breath moving in your back. So as you inhale, the back expands and opens. As you exhale, it softens back in. And then from here, go ahead and inhale and rise up onto hands and knees. And from here, spread your fingers and feel your whole hand supporting your weight. If it feels like too much strain on your wrists at any point, you can always drop down onto your forearms and do the cat and cow from there. Otherwise, we're going to exhale and round through the back to find that nice rounded cat back. And then inhale for the gentle arch for cow pose. Moving at your own pace, exhale, rounding. Inhale to arch. Pushing the floor away on the exhale, pulling the shoulders away from your ears on the inhales. And then coming back to neutral, back to a flat back. From here, go ahead, tuck your toes under, and we're going to ease our way into downward facing dog by really moving deeply through our hips. So on an exhale, you're going to engage that Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor, and just shift your weight back. Try and keep your back flat as you draw back into the hips. And then inhale, come forward. Mula Bandha engages, exhale, shift back, maybe lift the knees just a teensy bit. And then inhale, shift forward. And exhale, Mula Bandha, shift back, lift the knees a little bit more. And inhale, coming back down. If you feel like your thighs are working really hard, you're doing it right. Exhale, shift back, lift from the legs, this time coming all the way up into a downward facing dog. You can relax your head, shift your weight around. If it feels good, go ahead and march your feet in place. And reaching back through the heels, draw the weight off your arms by using more of your legs. On an inhale, go ahead, reach the right heel up to the sky. And then as you exhale, stepping forward and coming into a lunge. It's always okay if it takes a couple of steps to make it all the way into the lunge. From here, think of drawing the left hip back, right hip forward. Feel your inner thighs pull towards each other. Again, engage that Mula Bandha. And inhale, we're going to rise on up into a crescent lunge. You can bend your front knee until you can just see the big toe to the inside of the knee. Breathing here. Optional from here to exhale, interlace the hands and get rid of some of that tension in the neck, the shoulders, the upper back. Feel the heart open. At the same time, lift from the pelvic floor. Feel that support from the belly. And then exhale, gently lower the hands down and step it back. And we'll take the other side. Inhale, left heel lifts. And exhale, step it forward. Coming all the way up into the lunge. Feel the left hip draw back, right hip forward. Inner thighs pull towards each other as you rise up. Reaching through the back heel, try and straighten out the back leg, lift the back thigh. Optional to exhale, interlace. Staying present with your breath, present with the sensations of your body. And then exhale, release the hands and step it back to down dog. And from here, let's take a vinyasa. So you can let your vinyasa just be a cat and cow. If you're comfortable with chaturanga and up dog, sometimes they still feel fine in pregnancy. I'm going to show an intermediate one. We're going to inhale, come forward for plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, press back up for cow. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, go ahead and inhale, lifting the right leg to the sky for down dog splits. You can keep the legs straight or you can bend the knee, whatever's more comfortable. Reaching up through the leg. And then exhale as you step forward, and we'll move into warrior two. Rising up, feel the feet line up, heel to arch. You're going to bend through the front knee, again until you can just see the big toe. Feel your inner thighs kind of still drawing inward. Feel your glute muscles engaged to kind of create that support for the pelvis, for the belly. And we'll inhale, reverse warrior. Let the back arm rest down. Top arm lifts up and over. You can gaze to the top hand or to the back heel. And exhale, bringing your hands to your hips and pivoting your feet. Slightly pigeon toe the feet to a comfortable distance apart, toes in, heels out. You can keep the hands on the hips with the elbows reaching behind you, or you can interlace your hands. Inhale, lift through the heart, and exhale, folding forward. The hands can stay against the lower back, or if they're on your hips, elbows reach towards each other, or if it feels okay, you can let the hands release and let your head rest down. Unlock your knees so that you're not hyperextending your knees. And then lead with your hands and then your heart. Inhale as you rise back up. If you feel a little lightheaded, hang out here. Just stay until things feel normal again. And then we're going to pivot the front foot and exhale, step it back into downward facing dog. From here, moving to the other side, inhale, lift the left leg to the sky, feel the hip open. You can keep the leg straight or bend the knee, just breathe with it. And then exhale, step forward, and we'll rise up into warrior two. Inhale as you rise up. Shoulders relax. Bending the front knee until you can see the big toe. Inhale, reaching up and back. And then exhale, hands to the hips. From here, you can stay where you are. I'm just going to turn so that you can see me. We're going to take what they call a horseback riding stance. So now it's heels in and toes out. You're going to sink through the hips, feel your knees opening out towards your pinky toes, and again, engage that Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor. So feel both that opening through the pelvis and that lifting. From here, we'll inhale, take the arms wide, exhale, right elbow under, left elbow over. You can take the hands to the shoulders, back to back, palm to palm. Sit back through the hips as you lift through the fingertips. If your legs need a break at any point, feel free to straighten them. And then on an inhale, we're going to straighten the legs, reach through the arms. And exhale, other side. Sit back through the hips and take the left arm under, right arm over. Again, shoulders back to back or palm to palm. Staying present with the breath. If it feels okay, you can always kind of wiggle back and forth. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach on up. And then once again, pivot to the front of the mat and exhale, downward facing dog. From here, moving through another vinyasa. So you can do a cat and cow, or you can inhale, come forward for plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, press back up, find cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from down dog, we're going to move into some malasana, some Garland Pose variations. So step your feet a little bit wider than your hips and let your heels draw in slightly. As you exhale, you're going to reach back through the hips, walk your hands back, sink your heels down. The heels may or may not touch the floor, but you're going to reach forward with the hands, bow the head, and feel your hips sinking down. And at the same time, you're going to feel that little subtle lift from the pelvic floor. From there, go ahead, lift through the hips, square off the feet, soft bend in the knees, and let your body rest forward into a forward fold, bringing the legs wide enough that your belly doesn't feel like it's getting squished. From there, bend the knees as deep as they can go as you inhale. Roll on up the spine. Reach through the arms. Exhale, hands to the heart. From here, go ahead, take a moment to bring the feet hip distance apart or touching. And we'll just take a moment in Tadasana, in mountain pose. Go ahead, close your eyes. Feel your weight shift around on your feet. Then try and find that equilibrium. Equal weight front to back, left to right. Go ahead, lift up all 10 toes off the ground. Feel how that engages your arches a little more. Spread the toes, keep the arches lifted. And then soften the toes back down. And once again, try and have that little bit of lift in the arch as you find those four corners, inner and outer balls of the feet, inner and outer heels. And then opening the eyes. From here, again, step the feet a little bit wider than your hips, toes pointing out. And we're going to move into a full malasana or Garland pose. For some people, it's nice to have a block handy in this pose. And if you feel like sitting back on your heels just doesn't feel supported enough, you can use a block. So feet are pointing out, and we're going to inhale, circle the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, sit back down. Try and keep the heels connected to the earth. If the heels start lifting up, that means you've gone far enough. So if by coming partway down, you're like, I feel very unsteady, that's where you can add in the block and just sit back onto the block and hang out there. Or if it's comfortable without the block, you just sit the hips down and lift through the heart. The elbows come inside the knees, gently pressing the knees open. Lifting nice and tall, and once again, engage the pelvic floor. Lift the Mula Bandha. Stay present with your breath. If you feel your knees are starting to really push into the elbows, think about engaging the hips to draw the knees outward. And then exhale, gently release the hands. And we're going to transition back to child's pose, dropping to your knees and resting back. As you breathe down into the hips, feel them soften and let go a little bit more. And then from here, inhale, rise up to seated, cross the ankles and roll back to come back into your seated position. From seated, we are going to do a few more hip poses. So we'll start in bound angle. Again, if you want to prop yourself up on a blanket or a bolster or something, that's just fine. But you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, and you can take hold either at your ankles or interlace around your feet. From here, go ahead, lift up nice and tall. Feel the shoulders soften. Again, think of that puppeteer string lifting you tall. And then once again, find your Mula Bandha, lift that pelvic floor, so that even as we're opening through the pelvis, we're creating that strength and that stability at the same time. You can hang out here, or if it's comfortable, hinging forward. As you start to come forward, feel like you're on the trajectory where the first part of you to make contact with the floor would be your belly, then your chest, last your head. So you keep your body nice and long. Pregnant bellies are a great metaphor for this, because the belly is closer to the floor. Stay present with the breath. Think about creating length in the body. Release any tension that's creeping in at the shoulders, the jaw. Inhale, gently rise back up, and then we'll take it into Uttanasana Konasana, or open angle pose. Now the legs sit in a wide V sit. Draw your pinky toes back towards you. Inhale, lift tall, and then exhale, hinging forward. From here, the hands can be on the legs. If they can comfortably reach the big toes, you can do that little Yogi Toe Lock, sliding the first two fingers between the big toe and the second toe, and taking a nice gentle grip. Lengthen through the spine, tuck the chin. Stay present with the breath, and again, think of that trajectory, belly, heart, and then head. So we're not collapsing the body in the pose. We're staying long and open. And inhale as you come back up. And then from here, we're going to move on to our backs. And as always, if you start to feel your heart starting to flutter, or like it's difficult to breathe lying on your back, just roll over on your side until you feel comfortable again. Don't try and suffer through it. We're going to gently come onto our backs. It's a little harder to gently come onto your back, so if it's helpful to roll to one side and then come onto the back, feel free. And we're going to take happy baby pose. So that's always a nice one when you're pregnant. So you can hug your knees in towards your chest, just making room for the belly, and this can be your happy baby. This is a great happy baby. From there, if you're feeling like your hips have a little bit more room to them, you can take your hands behind the knees, lift your feet up towards the sky, and then gently draw your knees down towards the ground, kind of next to your rib cage. And you can hang out there, or if it's available, you can reach for the outer edges of your feet. Do the same thing, just gently draw the knees down. At the same time though, think about your lower back pressing into the floor. So your lower back presses into the floor as your knees gently draw down. Make sure you're breathing. If it feels good, you can just gently rock side to side if that's comfortable. And then from there, gently release the legs, take the soles of the feet together, and let your knees open wide, let your arms relax down at your sides. If you feel like your lower back needs a little more support, go ahead, tuck your hands under your hips, and then take the legs out. Either way, just close your eyes and feel the hips just naturally soften and open, letting go of any tension that might have crept into the hips or the belly. Let the belly soften too. Feel free to stay here as long as your body wants, but when you're ready to move into Shavasana, You're going to carefully bring your knees together. If you feel a little instability or a little discomfort at your sacral area, at the very lower back, sometimes it's nice to just step the feet wide and let the knees drop together for a breath or two, just to feel that sacral area soften. And you can take all of Shavasana here if you want. Or if you want a little more support under your legs, you can grab a bolster and slide it under your knees. Or you can just lie flat. Or if you go back to my video from a couple months, or from last month, the six month of pregnancy video, there's a really nice version of lying and side lying on your side with some props to support you. So feel free to take that version as well. But if you're comfortable lying on your back, go ahead and close your eyes and let your body rest. Feel your hips soften. Let go of any sense of effort in the pelvis, particularly the pelvic floor. This is a great time to just let it relax. Feel free to wiggle around until you feel comfortable. Again, that sacral area can get pretty vulnerable in pregnancy, so find a comfortable position for it. And as you rest down, just feel your body surrendering. The more your body relaxes, the more you might start to feel some movement of the baby to be in your belly. And just allowing your body to melt a little deeper with every exhale. Even here in Shavasana, if you start to feel uncomfortable on your back, at any point you can just stay in Shavasana and just gently roll to one side. Feel free to pause the video and stay here as long as you want. Allowing your breath, your body, your mind all to slow down. Whenever you're ready to come out of Shavasana, you can just gently stretch, wiggle, move any way that feels good. If you haven't already, go ahead, take your knees to your chest, just gently roll to one side. Taking a few breaths on your side to just honor that transition from Shavasana back to the rest of your day or evening. And then as you're ready, slowly coming up. Coming back to a comfortable seated position. From seated, go ahead, close your eyes. Let your shoulders relax. Find that heart over hips, head over heart, nice tall spine. With the eyes closed, find a little hint of a smile and inhale, float the hands up overhead, palms to touch. And exhale, bringing the thumbs to the forehead for peaceful thoughts, to the mouth for peaceful words, and to the heart for peaceful action. Om Shanti. Namaste. thank you so much for watching this video and for being part of the Art of Yoga with Cat Justice community and family, and I hope everything's going great with your pregnancy, and I wish you the best of luck, and stay tuned for next month's video, and have a great day. Thanks so much. Namaste.